This episode of The Bill and Callie Show is brought to you by
Who's booking your YOLO vacation?
Hey, I'm Callie, your land and cruise expert. I specialize in fun across Europe, the Caribbean, and even Hawaii. Whether you are traveling by land or by sea, the person to book it, of course, would be me.
All right.
Are you going to introduce the show?
Do I have to?
You always do.
Hello, we're coming to you from our living room.
Right.
Since we have all sorts of studios out
Yes,
there.
now we have more than one studio.
This has been declassified as...
this is Studio C.
Yeah, I guess we'll still do shows from here periodically. Yeah. So,
well, it's National Plan Your Vacation Day.
Exactly.
So we decided to talk a little bit about travel.
Mm-hmm.
And since I am a home-based travel agent, I thought I would talk a little bit about all the different things that are available travel-wise that some people might not think about when they're thinking about vacations or doing different things. And I know one of our commercials that is one of my favorite ones, which is the YOLO, you only live once. And in a lot of ways, that's very, very true.
Yeah.
You do only live once. And travel is so good for the soul, and you learn so much about other people, other regions, different cultures, different foods, all different kinds of things. And the company that I work for, which is Cruise Planners, I'm actually an associate of Karen McKinney's, and Karen Sternberg McKinney is a Highland High School graduate just like me. She now lives in Maryland, and she has Cruises by Karen, which is a Cruise Planners franchise. And I am happy to say that Cruise Planners is the only home-based franchise with an American Express travel affiliation, so I'm very proud of that fact. And even though we're called Cruise Planners, we do everything. We are your land and sea experts, because a lot of people hear Cruise Planners and they think that that's all we do, and that's not true. Although 25 years ago when this company started, cruises was what they did, but they're based out of Florida, and so that was kind of their niche at the time, but they have expanded. And for the past 16 years, Entrepreneur Magazine has named our franchise the #1 travel franchise in the world. So we're very proud of that too. So besides ocean cruises, which we represent all different organizations and companies. So we do Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, Cunard, Princess, Holland American, Norwegian, MSC, boutique lines such as Oceania, Azamara, Paul Gauguin Cruises, just to name some of the ones that we do. Then there are also the river cruises that are more American in aspect, which is the American Cruise Lines and American Queen Steamboat Cruises. American Queen does things like the Mississippi River, the Tennessee River, Cumberland River, Ohio River, and then American Cruise Lines does Alaska, New England, the Pacific Northwest, the Southwest, all kinds of great local history and things that you get to see on those. And there are a lot of people for whom ocean cruises just aren't their thing. They don't like being on those big ships. They want to be able to see land. So these types of river cruises, or the European river cruises, or even Asian river cruises, are a much better option, because you're getting on and off the boat every single day. You can always see land. It's a little less intimidating for people who are a little more uncomfortable being on larger ships. And as far as river cruising, so many different river cruise companies. Among the ones that we carry, Waterways, Avalon, Viking, Emerald, Uniworld. So lots of choices there. Of course, we can also do Disneyland, Disney World, and Universal. So if you're thinking of something that you've got younger kids, or even if you are a big kid at heart like I am, going to Disney World resorts, Disneyland resorts, Universal resorts, we can book all kinds of things like that too.
A question, there was one that last time we did a travel show
Yes.
that you're kind of recommending because it was the smaller of the series of cruise ships, that allowed you to get into the docks?
Well, those are the smaller boutique cruise lines and things.
Okay.
Now, the one that I've been on, which is Azamara, and that's the one that will be going on in August as well. It'll be Bill's first time on an Azamara, my third or fourth time. I like the smaller cruise lines because you are able to get into ports that the larger ships can't. So a lot of times when you have to be tendered in to different locations because the ship has to dock way out from the area, these ships can go right into a lot of the areas that the river cruise ships and things like that can get into, or smaller ships can get into. When we went to Honfleur in France, we were able to just dock right where all the other smaller boats dock, so we could just walk right off the ship onto land. And same thing in Amsterdam. We went down one of the canals and we were right there. When we got off our ship, we were right by the main train station. So you get to spend more days overnight in areas, you spend more time in the destination as opposed to going tendering back and forth and everything. And that's why I like them. Plus, on most of the smaller cruise lines, things like alcohol and things like that are included in the price of the cruise, as opposed to buying packages later.
We were showing pictures of that cruise ship, the smaller cruise ship in the last show, and it was amazing. I mean, they had that boom that went out over into the ocean, and it looked like a pretty fun ship.
Oh, there's a lot of fun ships out there.
Yeah.
And then I've been on the Celebrity Edge, which is the newer of the Celebrity cruise ships. So for the bigger cruise ships, it's not as much of a party ship as you would think of, like with a Carnival or a Royal Caribbean with all the roller coasters and different things like that. But it's a beautiful, beautiful ship. Lots of things to see and do, and beautiful spaces, green spaces, and everything to explore. They're phenomenal. Then of course there's always the all-inclusives, which are a lot of fun. And not only are there the romantic ones like Sandals or Zoetry or Club Med, but then there's the family ones like Beaches and Dreams, where they have lots of things for kids to do, water parks and slides and fun activities and things for the kids. So the parents can go have a great time, the kids can go have a great time. A lot of them have 6 to 10 different types of restaurants, so every night you can go somewhere different, and it's all included. And they'll have shows and events and fun things at the pool to do, and zip lining, and just going to the beautiful beaches in some of these places. But we have Bahai Principe, Rasala, Sandals, of course, Beaches, Dreams, Zoetry, Hard Rock Cafe, resorts and everything, which are so much fun. The escorted tours. You know, if you don't want to go by yourself and try to plan everything on your own, go with a group of people. You know, you go, you meet all these fun people. I'm super good friends with so many people that I have met on river cruises or going on these escorted tours. So things like CIE, where their specialty is Scotland, England, Ireland. Iceland is one of their newest ones, and I really want to go to Iceland. It's just so beautiful and everything. But we do things with CIE, Colette, Adventures by Disney. And a lot of people don't know that Disney also does European group travel tours with Disney buses and all kinds of fun things. Abercrombie and Kent, Globus, Trafalgar, all of those are companies and things that we work with. Then there are the individual FIT type of things, where I had a client who wanted to go to Italy, and he had specific places that he wanted to go and see. Another one that also wanted to go to Italy and specific places. So, you know, you call us, we get together with different organizations and companies that we work with closely, and we can hook you up with your train tickets, your transfers, your airline tickets, your hotels, specialty things, tickets to events, tickets to museums and things like that. We work with all these package providers like Classic, Europe Express. And then of course there's the other Delta, Southwest, American United, all have vacation things where they include their airfare, but also the hotels and things like that. I think when I took you for your birthday, we went to Lubbock, Texas, and I did that through Southwest Vacations. Yeah. And that was a lot of fun. You know, everything was all pre-booked for us, basically. We had our transfers and our plane tickets and our hotel and everything like that. And then another really fun thing, and I'm a huge train fanatic. I love trains. So rail vacations. A lot of people don't think about that when they think about
it's
taking a
becoming more popular
vacation.
now.
But Rail Europe. If you want to go to Europe and go on, you can still go on the Oriental Express if you wanted the Orient Express. But there are all kinds of rail trips and things in Europe, as well as Amtrak vacations. There's Rocky Mountaineer and there's Rail Bookers, and through those you can book all sorts of fun vacations. I have taken Amtrak multiple times in my life. As a kid, we lived in Chicago area here in Highland, but my grandparents lived in Philadelphia, so we would take the train sometimes to Philadelphia. When I lived in Houston, Texas, I would take the train from there up here. When I had training at Oak Brook, because I worked for McDonald's corporate, and I came up and did some work here, but I would come up to visit my family. I would take the train from Florida when I lived in Florida to Houston to go visit my mom there. And one of my favorite trips was when my oldest was getting their master's degree at the University of Washington in Seattle. In the wintertime, because it was in December, halfway through the semester, I took Amtrak. I didn't book it as a vacation because I already had places to stay and everything, but oh my gosh, just sit on that train and just see the beauty as you're going through Wyoming and the Dakotas and Idaho. Seeing people ice fishing on rivers right next to where the train is going through, and seeing bald eagles up in trees, and sitting and having dinner in the dining car and watching the scenery go by. It's just phenomenal. If you have that extra time, I highly recommend.
As far as trains, I remember when I was a kid, when my dad got remarried, we went on a train, that dome train that going to Denver, and I still remember. And just around then, John Denver came out with Rocky Mountain High, and they were playing that in the observation car as we're going through the mountains. And boy, I tell you, what an experience! Things that you can't see, and it's a different type of thing. But I mean, it is kind of unique because you in a way have a little bit more freedom to get up. There's like a dining car, there's a bar car, and so
you can get out and walk around. You meet people. The people that work as conductors and things on the train are so sweet and so fun, and it's just
so you have a choice of either sleeping in your seat or getting a sleeper car. Like I noticed on the trip that I took from here to Washington State to Seattle, if you were in the sleeper cars, every night they had a wine and cheese party for everybody who was in the sleeper cars as well. So a little get together, which was a lot of fun, and I just loved every minute of it. It was just a great time. And you were talking about going to Colorado. That just reminded me too. When I was in Girl Scouts. When I was a cadet Girl Scout, our troop saved up all of our cookie money and garage sale money and everything like that. And Jolene and everybody out there will remember this. We went to a dude ranch in Pueblo, Colorado, and we took Amtrak. And we had the absolute best time at the Don K Ranch in Pueblo, Colorado, and it was phenomenal. So I mean, there's all kinds of, we could do that, to book a train, go to a dude ranch out in Colorado, go horseback riding, have fun. And one of the things I want to reiterate that you constantly tell people, I've witnessed with your customers, is you handle it all. From getting to the airport to you handle it all. A lot of people.
Or I can, if you want to drive yourself, you can do whatever you want to do,
But from transportation and all, you figure it out. And if there's ever a problem,
tickets for excursions and different things that you want to do, and that is the good thing. Like if there's a problem, instead of calling some 800 number and being on hold for forever, you call your travel agent. If it's me or whoever, you call your travel agent. We work with different representatives. Each area of the country has representatives for all these different companies that we can call and get things taken care of. And a lot of times, like with our company, because we're such a respected travel agency and things, these companies, they want our travel agents to book them. They want us to bring clients to them. And so they'll offer us sometimes a lot of specialty things, or, your travel agent will call and I know if I have clients on cruise ships, sometimes I'll call and have a bottle of wine waiting for them, or some chocolate covered strawberries, or when they get to their hotel in Italy, I'll have a bottle of wine waiting for them, and just little specialty things that we can do, or we can work with different companies that will give discounts or free spending money when you go on their things because they want us to book them.
Yeah. Oh, by all means, I've witnessed all the nice thank you cards that you get and all from your customers that come back from your vacations that are so appreciative because they tried to book their own, and boy, if there's a change or if a flight gets canceled and you have to make changes, Kelly's here for you to do that with. Or
any travel agent. I'm not trying to make this all about me. I mean, you want to use me, that's great, and I'd be happy.
But the whole idea of travel agencies
that is the whole idea. And the other good thing is, like with our company, I know, say you book your cruise a year and a half in advance. You know that in 2021, you're going to take a Royal Caribbean cruise somewhere and you book it. And say 6 months from now, the price changes and is actually lower because they're running some special. They'll let us know. Royal Caribbean will let us know, or whatever travel agency or travel company, whatever cruise line.
So any packages,
sends us something,
special
and
pricing.
we can change your price around. They might give it to you as onboard credit, but they'll give you that difference and we can fix it for you. I've done that for a couple of clients where their prices have gone down, and so we can fix that for you.
Yeah. So that's it. One of the things that people I know, with the new ID, so you got to be. So if you're traveling domestically,
right.
If you're going to be flying, and I'm not sure if it is. Do you know?
It's not every single state.
Not every single state.
Right.
But just to get the headaches, it's not that big of a deal to go into
and get that little
and
star
get the
at
little
the top
star.
of your,
If you have a passport, if you bring that with you, or a birth certificate, I think they require 2 forms of proof that you've lived in a residence that you have, like 2 bills or something of that nature. So get that taken care of, because I even think, is it with rail as well, that you to board the rail?
I don't know if rail is included
but
in that. I'm not sure.
Might as well get that taken care of before you plan traveling.
Also, if you're planning to go overseas or to Canada or Mexico, you need that passport. Make sure that your passport does not expire for at least 6 months, because a lot of countries won't let you in if it's going to expire within 6 months.
Yeah, I actually, we were in Cancun, not with these people. We met them while they were down there, and they took an extended stay at great cost because their passports expired while they were down there. And boy, what a mess. They were actually there a week trying to get the information.
Absolutely.
So check that date on your passport. That's one of your checklist things to do.
One of those, and that's one thing. If you have a travel agent, they're going to check and make sure, because they will get copies of your passport and make sure that everything is within the right time frame and time limits. And another thing that makes me think of real quick, travel insurance. A lot of people don't think about or go, oh, I don't want to spend that extra $100 or $200 or $60 or whatever, depending on the trip, for their insurance. But let me tell you how important it can be. My girlfriend had booked a very nice Mediterranean cruise on a smaller boutique cruise line, so it was quite expensive, plus the airfare and the hotel beforehand and everything else. And a day and a half before they were leaving, her husband had a heart attack.
Oh my word!
And they got every penny back that they had put in because they had the travel insurance. And you could be on a cruise somewhere in the Caribbean, and you don't book your tour through the ship or through the travel agent, and you go with some other company that you find on the dock when you get off there, and God forbid you don't make it back to the ship when it's time for them to leave. They're not waiting. When they've got 5,000 people on that ship, they're not waiting for one couple or 2 couples to show up, and that boat takes off and you're stuck there. What do you do? But if you have travel insurance, they'll help cover that. They'll help you find a way to get back to the ship or to fly back. Or what if you get sick in a foreign country, or somebody you're with passes away? You got to get home.
Yeah.
I mean, it covers all those things. Or even if you're at the airport and your flight is delayed by a certain amount of hours, travel insurance will give you spending money to get a hotel or to buy meals while you're stuck there. And those are all things that people don't really want to think about or whatever, but that's really important.
That's another advantage of working through a travel agent, is because on the app you just have insurance checkbox. You can actually give them education on what type to get.
Right.
Because there's several types
there
of travel
There are several
insurance.
different types. I mean,
so
you can
we'll
get
cover
it through the
different
company
things.
that you're booking with or whatever, but they don't always cover all of those extra
Right.
things. So.
Right. And
Those
so
are
Kelly
good
or
to think
another
about.
travel agent can help you decide what type of travel insurance you need. And so, boy,
Yeah, there's a lot to think about when you're planning a trip, and the thing is, this is your relaxation. This is your time to get away and to rejuvenate and to experience exciting things, and you don't want to have to worry about all those other hassles, and that's something that we do. And the other thing about a travel agent, which a lot of people don't seem to understand, is you're not paying extra to have a travel agent do it. Those companies pay us to do it because they want travel agents to book, because it's easier for them to work with somebody who understands everything and can change things around easier and has people that work specifically with those companies that they work with. So
now here's a couple questions before we wrap things up. The
Sure.
time that people should allow to contact you before their vacation. So say if
It
they're
really
flying,
just depends
like
on the type of
domestically.
vacation.
Yeah. So if they're flying domestically to get advantage of maybe discounts, was it at least 30 days or?
it depends.
Okay.
It really does depend. I mean, if you're looking to take a vacation and you've got, 10 days to figure it out, you can do that. And sometimes, depending on what type of a vacation it is, sometimes you might get a better deal.
Yeah.
It just depends on the company. If they have a lot of openings and they're looking to book it up real quick or something, you don't know what you're going to find.
But
that's also our job too, is to find the best deals.
Right.
For you.
And what about cruises? Is that the same thing, or are they?
You could book a cruise today for next weekend if you wanted to.
Wow.
As long as the ship has room, you can
Yeah.
absolutely do that.
Yeah.
A lot of people, if they're taking a large family, say grandma and grandpa want to take their kids and grandkids on a cruise, that's something you're going to want to book in advance and make payments on.
Right.
And that's the other good thing about planning things way in advance, is you can make the payments on it, as opposed to you're going to take this trip and you've got 60 days to book it. Then usually they want all the money right then and there.
And that's the other thing, financing. They do have
There are
payment
different
plans.
types of payment plans for different companies, depending on what it is.
So there you go. Another reason to work with someone like Kelly. Wow.
Or any other really
Or any
great
other
travel
agent.
agent. Yes,
Mhm.
this isn't the Cali show per se. Well, I mean, it's
Well,
the Bill and
it
Cali
is.
show, but
I mean,
this
yeah, it
show
says Cal-
is,
yeah.
well, this show is just about travel. And
So yeah.
And-
So please, give her a try, or any any travel agent that you
good
want
travel
to.
agent that's been recommended, or that personally, who's going to work hard for you.
Yeah. Because if you've got a job where you're at it 12 hours a day or more, and you don't want to have to worry about this stuff, this is the way to go.
It
And
is.
believe me, the pricing, they're very aggressive. So I mean, you'll be very surprised when you hear about doing things through an app and so on. You'll be very surprised. The price is not all that much different. Plus, you're saving all the headaches of having to make all these changes.
And plus, sometimes we understand things a lot better. I had
Yeah.
a client looking for a trip somewhere, and they said, "Oh, we found this amazing price. Look at this. This is an Apple vacation, and we can go to Hawaii for this price." And I said,
Yeah.
"Yeah, you can, but that's if you fly out of Los Angeles. So you're going
Plus-
to have to add Chicago to Los Angeles, which is making the cost much more than you thought."
Plus, this is a sales for you. How many countries have you been to?
27 or 28 right
Well,
now.
I thought it was 39, but still 27, 28, that's still a
No,
lot.
27 or 28 right now.
All right.
And I've been to every state except Alaska, and I'm hoping to change that very soon too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in August, I'm adding another country, so I'm excited about that. 'Cause
So-
I've never been to Croatia.
So, I don't know, maybe a question you ask the travel agent, have you been to this country you're about to book me a flight to?
Well,
Kelly,
that's another thing. I
chances
love
are-
to travel, so
Yeah, she has been to most of Europe, and boy,
I love to travel,
and
so I
South
can
America.
recommend a lot of things.
Yeah, exactly. And she'll know the ins and out, what to advise you, what to see, what not to see, and so on. So
I'll do my best, that's for sure.
yeah. Wow. Well, now you got to go and
think about
plan your vacation. This is the day to do it.
Yeah, National Plan Your Vacation Day. Who knew?
Yeah. So
Although
yeah,
to me,
it's
every day is Plan Your Vacation Day.
Yep.
It's never too late, never too early. Start planning that vacation.
Now, with that, I guess we'll wrap things up.
Absolutely.
So again, start thinking about time getting away, because man, I tell you, you have to. If you have a stressful job or even want to get away with the kids, spend time with the kids. As a matter of fact, I just read a study that as opposed to buying your kids toys, money is better spent to buy them a vacation, because they get much more experience than that toy will play. Yeah, the toys are nice, but
something that's memorable that you'll always have. I can't recommend it enough.
And it's something that they can always tell about their kids, about.
Yeah.
And so it's buying memories.
Yes.
That's what you're doing, buying memories.
It is.
So with that, we better wrap it up.
Absolutely.
So with that, we'll say goodbye for now.
Thanks, everybody.
This episode of The Bill and Callie Show is brought to you by
Who's booking your YOLO vacation?
Hey, I'm Callie, your land and cruise expert. I specialize in fun across Europe, the Caribbean, and even Hawaii. Whether you are traveling by land or by sea, the person to book it, of course, would be me.